Good morning again. My name is Kiruba Shankar. I do three things in my life. One, I'm a social media entrepreneur. I run a business that consults corporate companies on digital strategies and execute it for them. Number two, I'm a digital marketing professor. I've been teaching for the last 14 years, and I teach in 3 leading Indian MBA schools. And three, I'm a farmer. I run a 10-acre farm, and I spend my weekends doing farming. So that's about me. Now, why am I here for? Over the next 40 minutes, what I intend to do is to share with you some very important lessons that I've learned as I've gone by. So I'm going to try and crystallize my 18 years of work experience, put it together, and how can you really use social media effectively for your career and for you to build an awesome brand. I've also taken the liberty to sprinkle a little bit of truly life-changing tips that I've learned from mentors. I've had a few successes. I've failed terribly as well. I've learned all those, and I'm crystallizing. I'm going to give you some of these tips. Now, how am I going to do that? Now, this is a book. This is the 6th book that's going to get launched. So this book is called Charge. A charge is another word for graduation speeches. Take some of the world's best universities, Harvard University, Stanford, Princeton, Oxford, Cambridge, your IIM Ahmedabad. I took some of the world's leading universities, then figured out all the speakers who came and gave their graduation speeches. Now, what's a graduation speech? It's just before people graduate out of the college and go, they invite some of the most awesomest people who've been there, done that, to come and crystallize their life lessons in about 15 to 20 minutes. So this is a 3-year project that I undertook, and I listened to over 260 such speakers in some of the world's best universities and crystallized their advice for youngsters like you. I'm going to share a few of them for you as well. All right? Now, buckle up. I've got about 9 lessons for you guys, so let's get started with the first one. Amongst all the people out there who've been doing awesome work and who've really been successful and who really made their mark in whatever field. I mean, I love the format of chat only because they don't invite all the people in one single area. So, for example, if you went to, let's say, a medical conference or an IT conference or a legal conference, everybody is in the same area. But one of the things that I've noticed in chat is that everybody comes from varied experience, which is awesome. But however, take a look at all the speakers. Take a look at all the speakers, and they've all made their mark. They've all been extremely passionate in their line of work, and they've brilliantly succeeded in what they're doing, which is part of the reason why they've been invited to address you guys over the next 2 days. And one way how you can establish yourself is to make sure that you brand yourself very well. Now, I notice a fairly young crowd. I'm guessing you guys are between 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and a sprinkling of people, a few from colleges as well. You know, one of the things you will soon notice is that as you graduate, as you move from school to college and college to your workplace, that begins the rat race of how you go one up. Hey, even in school as well, you're fighting with each other to get better rankings. In college, it will get even worse, and it's going to become very intense when you hit the workforce. So how do you brand yourself, I think, is very important. I've got a couple of quick questions to ask you guys. You guys ready? Very good. How many of you have your own website? Okay? Just be very bold and raise your hands confidently. So let me count. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5. Sorry, you were scratching your head. I didn't notice. Okay. So 6 people. And what potentially is probably about 300 plus audience out here. And let me tell you right away itself, those 6 people have already overtaken the rest of you when it comes to professionalism. Those 6 people, if I were to use a cricket analogy, have put on their IPL jerseys, are playing with a white leather ball, with their pads, and with a solid bat, and they walk into crowd like truly professionals, while the rest of us are wearing boxer shorts, t-shirt, bathroom slippers, and having your cycle wheel as the stump, and having a bat with a tennis ball. That's the difference. You need to be seen professionally, and the simplest way for you to get started is by giving yourself a solid presence online. Let me ask you, so get yourself a website, and you start off by getting yourself a good domain name. So let me ask you this. Let me just quickly point out to somebody out there, the gentleman with the green and the black striped t-shirt, raise your hands. Very good. Your name, sir? Harpreet? Harpreet. Okay, awesome. Harpreet, please be seated. Thank you. Thank you. It's a good t-shirt, by the way. So, Harpreet, do you have a website? No, right? Now, if somebody were to, if I met Harpreet out there, and if he didn't have a business card, I don't have a business card, and we finish this conference, we all head out. But I'm very interested in Harpreet and I want to know more. What do? What do? You will go online. You will Google for Harpreet. He doesn't have a business card, so there's no way of knowing anything about him. But if he had a website, if he had his profile put up, if he had his photos put up, if he had his links to his Facebook account, if he had his links to his Twitter profile, to his LinkedIn profile, it's a brilliant way for me. By spending just 5 minutes, I can get to know all about Harpreet. Do you know how much your domain name costs? Take a guess and shout out loud if you know the answer. 500, 350, both of you are correct. In fact, .in domain comes as low as 99 rupees. And it takes less than 3 minutes for you to book. So here's my piece of advice. This costs less than a pizza. But this is something that will help you lifelong. Speak to your parents and get yourself a domain name. And even if you don't know how to build a website, point that domain name to your LinkedIn profile or to your Facebook profile. Trust me, it's going to help you a lot. The second one, I want you to raise your hands. I only want you to raise your hands, and I'm sure everybody here has an email. That's granted. But you are allowed to only raise your hands if your email is not, hear that clearly, if your email is not a free email. So which means if you have a Gmail, if you have a Yahoo, if you have a Sifi, Rediff, any one of those free email IDs, you cannot raise your hands. But if you have an email ID that is different, raise it for me. Brilliant. Very nice. Ma'am, out there, do you want to say what your email ID is? Beautiful. That's very good. Somebody else who raised your hands, do you want to shout out for me? Yes, ma'am. vidhik.com. That's your name, Vidhi? That's brilliant. See, that I immediately will give extra respect to both the ladies out here. Because just by having an email ID, they are telling me what organization they are associated with, or they're telling me more about themselves, just like how Vidhi has her own website, vidhik.com. So the advantage of having your own domain name is that you can have a custom email ID. And the beautiful thing is that Google, and we all know Gmail is the world's best email. Yes or no? Absolutely the best, guys. And let me tell you that Gmail gives you a brilliant option to power your email, but with your branding. CEO@vidhik.com, Kiruba@kiruba.com. On the outside, it's custom email, but it's powered by Gmail, the best of both worlds. Again, you're probably going to invest 99 rupees to a max of about 500 rupees. Absolutely worth it. So take it from me. Go badger, pester your parents and tell them the importance of having an awesome online presence and start early. And let me tell you this, guys, you guys are the gifted lot. To be present out here, for someone to take the heavy weight, to take the load and inviting some awesome people out here to give you advice, trust me, take these little advices and many years later, you will thank the organizers of chat. Trust me. All right, so I'm going to give you a scenario. Assume that you're walking across the road, and as you're walking across, you're passing by a couple of shops, and you turn right, and in the glass that covers the shop, you see a reflection of yourself. What is the first instinctive reaction that you do? Somebody like me, I will tuck in my tummy, you know. Isn't that very instinctive? The minute you see a mirror, remember how I asked only the guys? For girls, it comes very naturally, you know, just like that. Why? Why do we do that? Why do we, when we look at our own reflection in front of a mirror, and immediately you tidy yourself, you straighten up your jacket, you know, why? Because we want to present the best self. We want to be presentable and we want to make sure that we're good. Take any person who goes to a marriage in the best of your dresses, right? You go to an interview, prim and proper. While we are doing this so efficiently and effectively in the real world, are you doing this in the online world? Have you ever gone to Google, typed in your own name, and checked what results come out? How many of you have done that? What a bunch of egomaniacs here. Guys, what is wrong with you? Actually, the good news is you are doing the right thing. And I think it's a brilliant practice that you're doing. Because if you don't know what people say about you, then I think you're missing out on a huge opportunity, right? So this is the basics of building your own personal brand. And by knowing what people are talking about you, you can take instant reaction. So do this. For some of you who are not doing it, Google yourself. How many of you, now that most of you have Googled yourself, how many of you get the results on the first page? Raise your hands. Good for you. Good for you. So if it's not, then you have to take a little bit of corrective action. That's why, let me tell you this. Can I request, let's see, I want one of the guys to come forward onto the stage, please. One of the guys. Okay, let me give you a life tip. The guy who gets up and comes will truly succeed in life. Give him a big round of applause, guys. Come on up. I'll give you a helping hand. Just jump up. Oh, he wants to play safe. He has no trust on me at all. Okay. Hi, I'm Kiruba. Raghav? Can I call you Rag? No? Is that how friends call you? No. What do they call you? Raghav. All right. Raghav, when you were small and young, have you done this piggybacking on somebody? When people, your dad or something would have lifted? Yeah, you've seen that? Okay, shall we try that? Okay, come, right now. Just jump on my back. You're 68. Don't worry about it. Just jump up. Jump up. Okay. Raghav just said that he's 68 kgs. Is Raghav smiling? Yeah, he's smiling. I'm the one carrying the weight. I'm not smiling. He's smiling. Very good. Yes, you can get down. What did he have for breakfast, Raghav? No, thank you. But give him a big round of applause. That's awesome. What a sport. What a sport. Now, let me tell you a little bit about, now, I'll tell you what. The reason why I did this is you can do the same thing when it comes for you to have an awesome online presence, you can do a similar thing like how Raghav did to me. What did Raghav do? He didn't walk, he jumped on my back and he had a free ride. Similarly, if you have your presence on, what are some of the social networking sites that you know of, Raghav? Let's count.
Facebook.
Facebook, brilliant.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is great.
Google Plus.
Google Plus.
Instagram.
Instagram, man, you're rocking, okay? Instagram.
Yahoo.
Yahoo. Yahoo technically is not a social networking site, we'll skip that. No, that's just email. So help me out, guys. Raghav has said 4, what else do you know? Twitter, that's great. Tumblr is fantastic. What else?
Ask FM. Ask FM.
Ask FM.
Ask.fm.
Snapchat is great. YouTube, excellent. Pinterest is very good. So we can go on. I can tell you about a dozen social networking sites. But let me tell you something, and you need to remember this very, very carefully. Every single website in the world is ranked on a scale of 0 to 10. A rank. A 0 means very, very low score. 10 is the equivalent of your Amitabh Bachchan. It's awesome. Now, if your website has a very, very high page rank, a Google page rank, when somebody searches for you, your website will come up right on top. But let's say Raghav books a domain name raghav.com or raghav.in, and because Raghav just booked the domain today, it will take him many, many years for him to get from page rank 2 to 3 to 4. He has to struggle real hard. But Raghav is a smart guy. What does he do? He goes to LinkedIn and creates a LinkedIn account for Raghav. And do you know what the page rank for LinkedIn is? 8. Brilliant. Oh. If you book it in Facebook, again, it's 8 or 9. If you do it in YouTube, it's probably 9. You know, so by piggybacking, just like how Raghav piggybacked on me, you can piggyback on other social networking sites. So when somebody searches for Raghav, when somebody searches for your name, it's your profile that will come up on top. So for all you guys who didn't raise your hands when I asked them, does your name come up on first page? Here is a shortcut for you to really be seen visibly. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Raghav. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Awesome. Give it up again for Raghav, please. Thank you. However, social media is not necessarily good all the time. How many of us are on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Twitter? Raise your hands. Ooh, boy. I should have asked the other one. How many of you are not on social media? What a stupid question, no? Okay, a couple of people. Fair enough. You guys have real guts to raise your hands, which is awesome. I admire your honesty. However, let me tell you that a not so good thing sometimes happen. I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you a real life case scenario. Let me just quickly check how much time I have. 20 minutes up, so I have another 25. Okay, here's on. I recently celebrated a few years back my 10th wedding anniversary. I wanted to surprise my wife. So what I did, I secretly went to ClearTrip and booked 2 flight tickets for me and my wife to Langkawi. Langkawi is a beautiful island town that's there in I think it's Thailand. No? Okay, I forget. Now I know why I failed in geography. So I booked this beautiful, it's just an amazing. So what I did was that once I booked everything, exactly on the day of our anniversary, I pack all my bags the previous night. I take her straight to the airport. My wife has no clue. And then she's very surprised, right? Once you go into the airport and I'm standing at the counter. I take my PNR sheet and give it, and I'm waiting, my hands on the table. And the guy on the other hand is checking into the machine, and then he looks at my face and looks at the thing, again looks at my face. Then he calls up his colleague, and both of them look at my face. Now I begin to get a little worried. I said, is there a problem? And he said, yes, there's a problem. First, the good news is your wife can travel. And then he said, sir, but you cannot. What? What kind of an anniversary honeymoon is this? And I tell him, so what's the problem? He says, sir, I don't know, but your ticket is not booked, but your wife is booked. And this is at some 11 o'clock in the night, right? Because it's some 2 o'clock early morning flight. And I call up everybody, everybody's shut down. Nobody is open at 11 o'clock in the night. And then he finally says, sir, I have a solution. I have one ticket that is left. If you're rush, maybe you can buy that ticket. So I ran across to the counter. I bought the ticket at 3 times the rate. I'm seething with anger. And I've been planning this for like 3 months. You know, I wanted to truly, truly celebrate this awesome occasion. And I do all this only to be so unhappy on that day. So what do? This is what I did. In the flight, as I'm climbing into the Malaysian Airlines flight, this is what I do. I tweeted, cleartrip.com took my money and did not book my flight ticket, had a harrowing experience at the airport. I gave a link. You click on that link and it takes you to my website. And here, I've put together my entire experience of the Cleartrip exam. What and all, what did they do? How did they spoil my entire second honeymoon? And what a sad guy. And by the time the flight landed it's in Malaysia, by the way. You guys are poor in geography. So by the time I landed in Kuala Lumpur, over 600 of my friends had already retweeted, reshared it on social media. And what happened was that immediately I get a call from Cleartrips, from one of the customer service guys on my mobile phone and said that, sir, I understand you had a problem. I apologize on behalf of my company, but we will find out the problem and get back to you tomorrow. And the next day morning, guess who calls me up? Rush Butt, who is the CEO of Cleartrip. He gives me a call and says, Kiruba, we are extremely sorry. Sorry about this incident, but 2 things we have done. 1, we will reimburse the money back to you. 2nd, we have double-checked your return flight. Your return flight is safe, no worries at all. And by the way, we have also upgraded to business class. Ooh. And that is the only time in my life, guys, I've ever flown business class. And then what they do brilliantly is Cleartrip, they go on to their blog, and then they type the Kiruba incident, and they explain what are all the goof-ups that they did and how they are planning to rectify it. Isn't that awesome? Absolutely awesome. And for all that, you know, times now, NDTV, CNN, IB, and everybody interviews who? They go and interview Cleartrip on what a brilliant customer service that they have done at my expense. So the lesson out here, what I have seen, is that blogging is an extremely powerful mechanism. How many of us here blog? Raise your hands. Kudos to you. By the way, for those of you who didn't raise your hands, news to you. You are already bloggers. If you're using Facebook and if you're updating Facebook, that is one form of blogging. Blogging is nothing but sharing your experiences on a daily basis. So, which brings to my next point. Some of the most successful people around the world, and you can think of any successful person, and you will know that they are awesome creators of content. They are producers, not consumers. Let me illustrate with an example. See if this is what you do on early morning. Wake up in the morning, finish whatever morning work you need to do, pick up your mobile phone, fire up Facebook, and look for the red dot, notifications, or check your email, grab a newspaper, switch on the TV, open up your laptop. Almost every single activity is what is called as a consuming activity. You're checking WhatsApp, you're consuming what others have written. You're checking your Facebook, your friend's timeline, consuming. Picking up a paper, you're consuming what some editor has decided to publish. You switch on your TV, you're consuming what somebody else has shot. Every single thing is what I call as a consumer activity. However, you've just woken up. You've woken up after 5 hours, 6 hours, or 7 hours of good sleep. Not only is your body rested, so is your mind. And they say that the first hour of you waking up in the morning is the most fertile hour of creativity. So you got to spend that first hour either writing or producing new things. And I've always seen that people who are extremely successful are people who actually get down to write. I follow this principle called 200 words before 8 a.m. Before the clock hits 8 a.m., I should write something at least for 200 words. I've now brought it up to 500 words. And if you notice, do you know how long it takes for you to write 200 words? Less than 10 minutes. So take that as an example, because if you want to be successful in social media, you need to be good original content creators. My next tip, encourage copying. That's right. Not in the exam room, guys. What are you thinking? Your mind is dirty. So when I say encourage copying, copying is share whatever you're creating originally, share your ideas. The more you share with others, the better you become. A perfect example of people, organizers of chat. They're doing this because each speaker brings along their own domain expertise, and they want to share that knowledge with everybody else. And the more you share, the more popular and more successful you'll become. How many of you have heard of a conference, this conference? Raise your hands. Okay. Looks like most of you haven't. Hi, people at the top. You want to wave? Very nice. Spell punctuality for me. No. Okay. We'll let them settle down. TED is a beautiful, amazing conference, guys. It's like a bigger mother version of chat. Very expensive, though. Extremely expensive. When it started many years ago, it costed $2,000 US to go and attend. Do you know what $2,000 is? That's about $120,000. Ooh, that's expensive. They invite some of the world's best speakers, like this guy, like the guy who climbed Mount Everest 3 times and walked to the North Pole, walked to the South Pole, took the submarine and went down to the deepest part of planet Earth. Satyabrata Dam, an Indian. He comes on TED and he speaks. Some of the most awesomest people in the world. This is a conference. But let me tell you what TED conference used to be earlier. In the beginning, there were 600 people in that auditorium that you see out here. Those 600 people typically are super achievers or super rich. For almost 15 years, they would come every year for 4 days and they share their ideas with each other. They call it the mental spa. Just brilliant. Unfortunately, what happened? It's only those 600 people who benefit. Then came a guy called Chris Anderson. He bought the TED brand and did something amazing. Can you take a look at the cameraman out there? And take a look at the camera that he has? That's not the kind of camera. They took the kind of camera like you see in IPL matches. Have you seen those big cameras? And they've taken 8 such cameras and recorded every single talk in HD quality. And on the very same day, he put it up, all the talks for free for people to see. If you go to TED.com. And everybody said, what an idiot you are. Why are you now putting all these talks for free? Because those guys have paid $2,000 and they have come. Now, if you give away everything for free, then next year, those 2,000 people also will not turn up. But Chris Anderson, the owner of TED, the new owner of TED, this is what he said. Listen, boss, I'm the boss. I know what I'm doing. So he went ahead with the plan. And you know what happened? All people like you and me, I don't know if you can afford $120,000, I cannot. But now, I started to look at the TED Talks and I started to feel this is just awesome material, absolutely awesome material. And I saved up money, and then 3 years later, I went to the real TED conference by paying the money, and I went. So likewise, more and more people started to understand what an amazing conference, amazing speakers, and they started going. And the queue grew longer and longer, and there was a 3-year waiting period at one time. So Chris Anderson is a brilliant business guy. You know what he did? He increased the fee of TED from $2,000 to $4,000. The queue shrank only a little. So what did he do? Increase the fee to $6,500. How much is that? That's about 4 lakhs, right? 3.5 lakhs. And this year, it's $8,500, and it's rumored that next year it might turn to $10,000. That's about 6 lakhs. How? By giving away all the content, by giving away all the video for free. So here's a brilliant lesson for you. Whatever your knowledge, whatever you're good at, don't hold it to yourself. Give it away and share it. Blog it, Facebook it, tweet it, YouTube it. And the more you share, the more you will succeed. Here's another brilliant, one of my life's favorite quote. One of my life's favorite quote. Can everybody together on count of 3, can you read out loud what is written out there on the screen? Wait for me. A 1, a 2, 3. Brilliant. You guys are brilliant. But I didn't see that energy. When you say, oh yes, it has to come from deep within. Let's see if you guys, what stuff you guys are made up of. 1, 2, 3. Brilliant. You see this guy? This guy is called Derek Sivers. He is a musician. He plays the guitar and he's also a songwriter. So he, along with his friends, they joined together and they recorded a CD with about 14 songs. And he went to every major music recording studio in order for them to distribute his music. Every single person, what did they do? They shut the door on his face. And he said, hey, people will buy only famous singers. Nobody knows you. Who will buy your music? Get out. Every single music label company kicked him out. So what did he do? He did something remarkable. He walked straight to a bookstore and he picked up a book that said, How to Build Your Own Website in 7 Days. He read through the book. He went to his laptop and started to take step-by-step method, and he built his own website called cdbaby.com. He put a CD out on the site, and anybody with a credit card can buy. And suddenly the whole world, anybody around the world can buy. Some of his friends came up and said, hey, Derek, you're selling your own music. Can you also please help sell mine? And he said, sure, why not? And he started to help his friends. And then other musicians from around the world who had no idea who Derek was, they approached him and said that, hey, Derek, can you please help me as well? And slowly, to cut the long story short, after a few years, Derek Sivers sold his website cdbaby.com to Amazon.com for $22 million US. That's about 130 crores. And Derek Sivers put all his life lessons into a best-selling book called Anything You Want. It's a very simple 66-page book. And one of the tips that he gives is what is called, oh, yes or no. And he says the secret to his success is that he had the guts to say no for the things that he was not interested or he was only half interested. You know, in our life, We have so many distractions and so many needs. Every single day, there's some kind of an, you're invited to an event, you have school work, you have to go to your, parents' function, relatives' play, There are so many distractions that really come up. But ask yourself with every single opportunity, Derek Sivers says, ask yourself, does your heart beat? Are you truly excited about the task that you're about to undertake? Are you truly interested? Does your